Hello and welcome to this very special bonus episode of AJAG PD Pod. Bonus episodes are unreleased footage from episodes of the past. So enjoy this quick clip from episode 7, AI.
I was talking to my wife in the kitchen the other day about a certain type of coffee pot.
Oh no, are you going to say your phone was listening?
Am I not allowed to say that? But
no, but I'm going to debunk it for you.
Next time I went into YouTube, I started getting these and it's like, I don't think I searched on this. So maybe I am paranoid. But a certain amount of paranoia can be a good thing.
No. I can explain to you how it happens, and it'll be even creepier than if your phone was listening.
Well, why don't we leave that to another episode?
I'd like to hear.
Oh, what you okay?
We can cut this out if you want. I want to hear that.
You want me to explain?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, yes, we don't know for sure. There could be, 20 years in the future, there's some big explosive, revelation that, yes, all this time our phones have been spying on us and listening to us. But think for a minute about, just on a technical level, all the people out there that have smartphones and the computational power required to listen to all conversations at all times, and also listen for like trigger words. Yeah. So for example, you may or may not have like a smart speaker in your home. It's like Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, one of those. So those devices are listening all the time, but they don't turn themselves on. They don't, like, they're kind of like snoozing. They're like a dog just kind of in the corner, and they don't go whoop until they hear the word, the trigger word, because there's not enough processing power in the world to have all of those speakers on at all times, listening and filtering for words all the time. So they all have a trigger word. So it could be Alexa, it could be Siri, it could be Hey Google. If anybody's listening to this and we are triggering your smart speakers, I'm sorry.
Hey Google.
Hey Google, turn on the lights. So we know from all of that just purely technically speaking, it would be very, very difficult. The amount of because it wouldn't just be on-device processing power, it would be sending all of that up to the cloud somewhere. There is no data center that could be processing that much audio information. So that's a technical thing. But what I can tell you is all of the stuff that a company... Okay, so in the online marketing world, it's basically a duopoly. Like, we've got Facebook or Meta, and we've got Google. They run massive advertising platforms, right? And there are data brokers that are keeping an eye on everything that you do online. So that, and it's not at the level of personalization where you are being tracked online in a clearly open way. It would be like, okay, here's Jonathan, and it is Jonathan, and here's a picture of Jonathan, and here's Jonathan's email address, and here's Jonathan's home address, and we can always know that it's Jonathan. But there's a concept called metadata, which is information about information. And if you have enough metadata on someone, this is a concept in the digital world known as fingerprinting, where it's like, if I know enough about you without actually knowing it's you, you're leaking data about yourself all over the place. So you're on the same Wi-Fi network as certain people at certain times. You're in certain locations as other people at other times. So let's take that as one piece of data. Now let's also look at everything else you've done online. Maybe there are some systems that are, watching you as you search for different things. Maybe there's a system that knew 6 months ago or at Christmas time that you got a new espresso maker or something. And then maybe there's systems that are also tracking the person, your wife, that is also in the room with you. They know that you're in the same place at the same time on the same Wi-Fi network. They know all your past purchasing. They know all your past search history. They know, without actually knowing it's you, they also know, like credit card companies are in on this. Like the amount of data that we can pull out about a person without it actually being personally identifiable is bonkers. And we're carrying all this around with a giant invisible backpack on us at all given times. And then when we interact with other people, our digital backpacks bump up against each other. Right. And it kind of causes this overlap that then there are systems that are running under the hood of advertising platforms that are mostly powered by Facebook, powered by Google, that are doing an algorithmic prediction of how likely it is that you would want to be shown a particular ad at a particular time based on everything that it knows about you.
Right.
So there's all that.
Yeah.
And then there's something known as confirmation bias. And this is a psychological concept where, it's confirmation bias, and it's also, confirmation bias is a psychological principle that means you're more likely to think you're right about something when you see other things that agree with what you're saying.
Right.
Even though there might be a lot of other things out there that disagree with what you're saying, but if they don't align with what you think, they don't register in the same way. Right. And so you think, oh, I've got all these symbols out there that are saying, I'm right. But your brain is filtering out all the ones that don't align with you. Yeah. So there's confirmation bias at play, and then there's recency bias. Oh. So it's, you are bombarded with thousands and thousands of marketing messages a day, but you're not aware of most of them. The one that sticks is the one that sticks out that says, you need to buy coffee. And that makes you go, but I was just talking about coffee with my wife. So therefore, my phone must be listening to me. Right. Your phone is not listening to you. Right. But you just happen to notice when it aligned with what you were talking about because of all of the potential variables that could have been at play that are sending marketing material messages to you, but you don't even notice them. Yeah. They're just like subconscious. They just wash right over you. There's this, I listened to a few podcasts and I read a few books about some of like the psychology of like how psychological concepts get baked into marketing. And there was one that's always stood with me. It's called the Texas sharpshooter fallacy. And it's a psychological concept of, if you can imagine, as you will, if somebody had a gun, they could be in Texas, they don't have to be, and they go and they just randomly shoot a bunch of bullets at a barn, and then they walk away. And then somebody comes up later and paints a bullseye. So it looks like, oh, they actually hit the target, but no, they didn't. They were just random. Mm-hmm. But the Texas sharpshooter fallacy is if you see the barn after the target has been painted on it, you think, oh my gosh, that person hit a bullseye. Right. Really, they didn't. Right. Like you've got marketing messages coming at you all day long. Right. But in hindsight, you think they hit the bullseye. Right. So that's I mean, people have written about this in probably a much more eloquent way than I just explained it to you. Yeah. But that's the kind of the psychological, the technological answer to, is my phone listening to me?
We hope you enjoyed this quick clip. For the full podcast episode, please visit ajag.ca, our YouTube page, or any one of our podcast pages on your favorite podcast app.